Back as we approach the bottom of the hour here on Get Up. Let's play a game called Believe It or Not. Hey, Harry, if I said the Eagles can ride Saquon Barkley all the way to a Super Bowl, believe it or not?
I'm going not, and it's not because I don't believe in Saquon Barkley. Hell, he's been the offense for the Philadelphia Eagles up until this point, third in the league in rushing. But I believe that much more in the Detroit Lions as a whole, as a football team, offensively, defensively, special teams, from a coaching standpoint. That's why I'm going with not, Greeny.
You know, Dan, there's been a lot of talk about the Eagles and what they are and what they aren't, and whether their last two wins really should be taken into account because they beat Cleveland and the Giants and people, whatever the case is, and Sirianni, all the craziness with him and everything. Rex was on here on Monday, and he said the formula for the Eagles is what they did last week. That team needs to run it through Saquon and let everything else sort of come from that. And my response was, they have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and they pay their quarterback $50 million a year. I'm not 100% sure I'm seeing it the same way. What is the formula if this team is going to make it to the Super Bowl?
It would be explosive runs because that's what they're doing well right now. That's the only thing that I really hang your hat on offensively. I don't think this offense could go win a Super Bowl right now, okay? I really don't believe that. If you go back to last week, one, they started slowly again. Two, the only thing that they did well were the explosive plays. If you take away those 3 or 4 explosive runs, now the one bomb to AJ, this offense doesn't control games right now. It doesn't dominate football games. And also, you're not going to win a Super Bowl without throwing the ball over the middle of the field. How many times do you think Jalen Hurts has thrown the ball over the middle of the field this season? Take a guess.
I'll say 10.
4. You're not going to win a Super Bowl throwing the football over the middle.
4 times in 6 games. That's a remarkable number.
That's a bad number.
Yeah, I mean it's telling. Is that because they don't want to do it because they think they can't do it? Why is it that he's not doing it?
I don't know the answer to why he's not. That hasn't been an issue in the past, but it's an issue right now.
Schefter, has the noise quieted down there? That obviously was a big win, and the Saquon going back against the Giants thing was such a feel-good. I think it was the perfect antidote to all the craziness of the week before with Sirianni and the fans.
It's 2 straight wins now, and I know the win against the Browns was not overly impressive, but they still have begun to stack them up together. Now they play the Bengals, and again, another one of those big games because both teams started slowly. Yep. Both teams have to have this kind of win, and there'll be a little bit of noise in the city that doesn't come through here.
Yeah, we can put the picks up on the screen, actually. Eagles-Bengals, that Cincinnati's a 2.5-point home favorite in what is a very interesting game. And, Cindy, if you could just put those up there. J-Mac, you're the only person here who likes the Eagles. Why?
Well, I look at the Philadelphia Eagles in the same way Dan just talked about their offense. I look at Cincinnati last week going against the Cleveland Browns. They had 2 explosive plays, 1 touchdown pass to Jamar Chase, 1 to T. Higgins, and they had a kickoff return for a touchdown. They weren't blowing the doors off it. Philly's defense played a ton better last week. I know it was the New York Giants. Nakobe Dean blitzing, coming up with sacks. Jalen Carter showing up for those guys in the last few weeks. I think they have a chance offensively. If you can run the football, have explosive runs, and then be able to throw the ball on the outside to A.J. Brown, it's not a ton. That's enough to win football games. Explosive plays are the hardest thing to defend as a defense.
Low-key, this is a critical game for the Bengals. Critical. They win this game, they get all the way back to 4-4 playing Baltimore next week. They could find themselves through what was a terrible start, kind of exactly where they need to be. Let me go to the next Believe It or Not here. J-Mac, this one is for you. If I said Russell Wilson and the Steelers can win that division, win the AFC North, believe it or not?
I'm going not on this one, and this is an easy one. Have you not watched the Baltimore Ravens? Have you not seen what Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson have done? Lamar threw for 5 touchdown pass. No, he absolutely hasn't. 5 touchdown pass against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Baltimore Ravens are winning that division.
Well, let's talk about the new look Steelers here. They go from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson. This is why Mike Tomlin is going to have a gold jacket someday, because the whole world said he's crazy, he's crazy, he's crazy. And then, as it turned out Sunday night, not crazy. What is the biggest difference in what you saw from their offense when Russell was out there versus Justin?
Air, the trajectory of the throws. I want everyone to pay attention to how long the ball is in the air, Justin to Russell. This is Justin, bottom of the screen, go out to George Pickens. Watch the trajectory, but pay attention to how long the ball is in the air from the quarterback's hand to receiver. 1.8 seconds, okay? That's a go route, incomplete. Now it's a tight end down what we call like a seam, okay? How long is the ball in the air from Justin Fields when he kind of drives the football? 1.8, and then this one's 1.4. Now contrast that to Russell Wilson, and this is where I got to give him credit. Same route. right? It's the go route to the bottom of the screen. 1.8 was Justin. That's how long the ball was in the air, okay? Pay attention to this. Okay, 3.0. So almost the second half longer for George Pickens to get the ball. This one's to Freiermuth, again, on that little bit of a seam route. 1.4 for Justin. How long for Russell? From the ball leaving his hand. 2.1, almost another second longer. So just how much time those pass catchers had to adjust to the football, I got to give credit. That was the main difference performance-wise, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields.
I want to make sure I'm clear on what
right
he's
now.
saying. What's that?
I'm smiling right now because as a former wide receiver, now I can adjust to the football in the air. When the ball is on a flat line trajectory, I don't have time to adjust to a football when it's coming up on me.
Yeah.
When you have enough air under that football, now I can adjust to what the coverage is doing and make catches like you see right here that George Pickens is doing.
Hell, I was more concerned how much longer your pants had before they split with you down there crotched looking at the film right there.
We're good. We're stretching.
Fair enough. But let me ask you this. I think a lot of fans will hear that and they will think having zip on the ball, getting it there before the defender can react, before the defense can adjust and all that kind of stuff is preferable. So explain, and I think you did a pretty good job at the beginning of it. You're talking about throwing those contested balls. You're talking about throwing back shoulders.
Correct.
The kinds of things receivers have to adjust to.
Yeah, the one-on-one throws where it's my guy versus your guy. And the more time, now sometimes you got to drive it, but more time you give that talented receiver or that talented tight end the ability to use their body to create leverage, to go up and time that jump to go make the catch. And it's something that I didn't anticipate the change being impactful, but that was the main difference. And I think that is, for George Pickens, that matters a great deal.
That's why they made the change, is to unlock George Pickens and to make him a downfield weapon and to make the change before, and we said this on Sunday, before they play a division game. That was the whole idea of this. Let's get an idea of what each quarterback can do before we head into the teeth of our schedule, facing AFC North foes. They haven't played a division game yet. Now they have an idea of what Russell's going to do.
Dan, if I said the Jets are going to make the playoffs, do you believe it or not?
Not any longer. I did. I really believed in Aaron. I believed that he still had greatness inside of him. I thought Sunday night was a must-win. And they didn't get it done. And it's hard for me to sit here and think of all the things that are flawed with this football team that it's going to change in a week, that it's going to get fixed, that the details are going to get fixed in a week. I do not believe this. I was wrong about the Jets. I don't believe in them and their offense right now.
I think a lot of people are feeling that way. Davante Adams, brand new acquisition, and Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about Adams' impassioned speech after that ugly loss against Pittsburgh. Here's what they said.
It's not really my personality to see something that's not right and to just let it go on, regardless of whether it's from the coaches, players, management, support staff, whoever. I had reservations about speaking up too early and being too vocal too early. In my mind, I said F that because I need we don't have time, and I got to do whatever I got to do to help this team move forward.
There's just certain guys over the years that are, I don't even know what adjective to use is better than this one, but they're just real guys. And when they speak up, you feel it. I thought it was the realest speech I'd ever heard in a locker room in 20 years.
So that's fascinating. And because none of us are specifically privy to what it is that Davante Adams said, how many different things might galvanize that team this year? Nothing has worked so far. The firing of the coach, the demoting of the offensive coordinator, the acquisition of Davante Adams, the signing of Hassan Reddick. None of those things.
The biggest one, Greeny, losing. Well, like that should motivate you more than anything to go out there and play at the top of your game and present a great product to fans, yourself, your family, the whole nine.
I guess what I'm wondering is what is it that Davante Adams got there, spent 4 days there seeing, and felt he needed to get up and address in a locker room on Sunday?
Supposedly it had to do with their lackluster effort, their energy levels. He was trying to demand more out of them. But again, it's just, and you heard Aaron Rodgers talking about sometimes you need something like this to ignite a spark and get it going. But again, we thought that changing the head coach might bring a spark.
Sunday night
changing
football.
The offensive coordinator would bring a spark. Trading for Davante Adams would bring a spark. Now on to Davante Adams' speech being a spark, and Hassan Reddick coming back this Sunday, which is a spark. And at some point, I don't know, you just got to go win a game.
They do realize this was Sunday night football, right?
And I think to what from what he said, he's coming from the outside looking in. He's coming from a team with the Raiders. Since he's been there, they haven't won.
Also dysfunction.
Yes, also dysfunction. I think what he was saying was when guys are making plays, we have to remember that we're playing a game that is supposed to be fun. So, yes, all of this is going on outside of us. We're losing. We're trying to figure this thing out. When we go out here and the ball is kicked off and it's Sunday Night Football, hell, let's go out there and have a good time doing this thing, because I'm walking in, he's like, I'm seeing guys make catches and we just looking like, yeah, good job. Like, let's go out there and let's celebrate.
You want to know who that starts with, though? Starts with the quarterback position. You can't have bad body language. If a guy drops the ball, you can't be on camera rolling your eyes. It starts with the quarterback.
Yeah.
So it's a leadership thing, in my opinion.
No team needs to win more this weekend than the Jets. No team needs.
This is the third consecutive week you've said that,
yeah.
by the way.
And I've been right with it. Like
No, I don't mean you. I mean everybody has said
They play the Patriots.
But here's my thing about it. The whole comment of we lacked energy before the game, they were dominating the Steelers. Before the interception, right before the half, it was 15-6.
Yeah.
It was a runaway game. They were doing what they wanted. And then the pick happens. It wasn't, for me, after watching it, a lack of energy. It was a lack of punch. It was a lack of fight. It was a lack of someone standing up and being like, it ain't going to happen like this anymore. Now maybe that's what Davante did
exactly.
post-game.
So he stood up after the game and did it, after the team had allowed 31 unanswered points and lost another game that they had to win in a week where you said that is the most important game. Well, now
Week 8, you want the culture to change in week 8.
Yeah.